Welcome to the Eastern Regional Branch of the State Archives. This building is named in honor of Belle Reeves. She was a pioneer women's activist, dedicated public servant, and the first woman elected as Washington's Secretary of State. Anna Belle Culp was born on August 17, 1870, on a farm in Quincy, Ohio. She was 17 when she met her future husband, Frank Reeves, in Kansas. Seeking their fortune, the couple set off for the new state of Washington. Arriving in 1889, Belle and Frank spent the next 2 decades moving from one side of Washington state to the other. They eventually settled in Wenatchee, where they founded the city's first newspaper, the Wenatchee Advance. Together, they also raised a child named Zelma. Belle worked as an orchardist, printer's apprentice, reporter, stenographer, teacher, and typesetter. All the while, she was deeply interested in public service, joining every political action club and society open to women. She famously quipped, "The reason I didn't join any more clubs was that there were no more days or nights in the month." In 1910, women gained the right to vote in Washington state, and in 1912, the first women were elected to the state legislature and to statewide office. The door was finally open. In 1922, with her daughter grown and husband retired, Belle ran for office and was elected as state representative from the 12th District. She served 8 terms, focusing on issues such as improvements in workers' compensation, care for the sick and disabled, and child care. In 1938, when Washington Secretary of State Ernest Hutchinson died suddenly, Belle was appointed as his replacement, the second woman to hold statewide office. She was hugely popular. In 1944, she received more votes than any statewide candidate in Washington's history, including President Roosevelt. She worked tirelessly to promote Washington tourism and commerce. Her common sense and honesty won her friends on both sides of the political aisle. She even briefly served as acting governor when both the governor and lieutenant governor were out of state. Belle was diagnosed with a serious kidney disease in 1947, but she planned to work, quote, "as long as I can wiggle one little finger." She died in 1948. It would take another 75 years for a second woman to be elected Secretary of State in Washington. Acknowledging her contributions to history and her status as a trailblazer, the Eastern Regional Branch of the State Archives is named in her honor. Some other facts about Belle Reeves. She was the first woman to be featured at a Democratic National Convention in 1924. She argued unsuccessfully against the legalization of the sport of boxing. Her husband, Frank, dropped dead on the State House floor as she led a debate arguing against prohibition. And finally, she refused all campaign contributions for her Secretary of State bids. Belle Reeves served as Washington Secretary of State and is remembered as one of the most successful women leaders in our state's history.